ULTI.TV.
All right, game underway here. Canadians, Hibbert puts the first pull up. Dan Clinton joins me here in the what we call press box, our sideline confines near our friendly pole cam. And we've got a Canada-Sweden matchup. Canada got here by way of a loss on Universe Point to the Americans today.
And Sweden got here by way of loss of Universe Point to Great Britain this morning.
Yep, both interesting routes to get here. The Canadians won all their games, and then a loss to Japan set them up into their quarters. They won their way through everything with ease, beat the Germans, and then the Americans knocked out Sweden. On the other hand, massive underdogs, big layout there in the middle. Morgan Hibbert,
great block there, awesome block.
Sweden, on the other hand, as Gabe Sankei winds up a backhand that he doesn't deliver. They got second in their pool place, lost to the Aussies, lost to the Germans in a crossover. They've always looked good in the tournament, but never really great until the day the wind came, when they
oh boy,
and they just dominated the, at that time, favorites Japanese. 27 with a goal there.
Canada go up a break early. Wow, great start to the game by the Canadians.
Indeed, and we got a little drizzle here.
So it's starting to dribble here, Steph.
Dribble, are you? Really? You can't keep it in your mouth?
It's been a long tournament, man. Leave me alone.
And
drizzle. The rain.
And a Canadian player just pulled that, wearing black shorts. The only one that's very odd, but
hey, look at that. Setting that trend.
Maybe he's extra special. The Swedes, with their after they got broken the first one, number 9 with the disc. That's Teller. He had a big game against the Japanese we were just talking about when they were just having a huck fest in the wind. And this man here, number 8, had a huge game, Sebastian Sporong. Big hammers across the field both ways now for the Swedes. 6 with the disc. Having a look, gets it up to 17. That's Anders.
Throw through the middle there. Nice work by the Swedes. They're working this up the field very
Sporong,
nicely.
Sporong now with the disc. Flick centered, that's Anders again.
Oh, they're outside in.
Anders Dahlberg.
No dice.
That gets too far for Eric Dahlberg to catch up to. Scotty Nichols with the disc. He's one of the GOAT players on this mostly Furious George team. GOAT from Toronto, Furious from Vancouver. Scotty Nichols, actually a native of North Bay Nads. He's played with back in the day, I think from North Bay. Now,
oh, nice throw there inside.
Tolley, the Russian, wearing Gretzky's number. Also a GOAT member. The Toronto boys have been big for this Team Canada. They fit in just fine with the Vancouver program.
Tolley taking it to the Swedes right now, seeing a lot of the disc.
Ooh, and he's got it, got the goal. 17 punts it for Canada.
Love the classics, love the punt spike, old school.
So the Swedes, coached by Danny Eriksson, an ex-New York player back in the days, played with the likes of old Cribber and a couple of the other fellas that you may know well. He's got himself a world championship playing club level ultimate. He masterful in the Swedes win over the Japanese. He was very key in this whole tournament. Obviously keeps them motivated. Good to have a man at the helm with such expertise as the Swedes bring the disc upfield here. Sporong with the disc. He is certainly their highlight player. Now to one of the Dahlberg boys. He gets it up line. Disc is definitely in. Flick, Sporong there versus Gabe Sankei. Sporong reads it, but it ripped out of his hand by Andy Collins, who doesn't have that lumberjack beard we saw on him yesterday. Andy Collins makes the big grab and grabs his hammy, and conveniently their top handler, Oscar Pottinger, gets on there for O.
Are you a bit of a cynic in your old, getting a bit of a cynicism about you in your old age, Stefan?
Who knows? I just call him how I see him.
Yeah, so Pottinger finds the disc for Sweden, for Canada.
Sound Key now with the disc. He had some massive layouts in the game we covered against Japan, some very physical ones. 25, Pottinger puts an OI backhand, gets his man.
Yeah,
goal
wow.
for Canada, up 2-0.
Great throw there by Pottinger. The super sub coming in for the injured Collins.
And the Swedes take an early timeout.
So the clean-shaven Andy Collins, was he doing like the ice hockey thing, not shaving until the final, and then when he lost...
Not sure, but he probably should have in hindsight. Superstitions taken seriously. When he did shave, they ended up losing. So if that's telling at all, we would never put it on the shave by any stretch. And the Canadians did work real hard. They had a good game today against the Americans. Tough, grinded out game.
Wow, they had an amazing game against the Americans, and they came so very, very close.
And they were down late in the game by about 3 or 4, and managed to scrap it back to Universe Point. Is that right?
They did.
I was over on the Aussie field at the time when the Mundies made the Barramundis made the grand final by beating the Japanese. So only saw glimpses of.
Best result ever for an Australian team at Worlds, the Mundies, coming second or first, depending on how they go tomorrow.
Excellent, and the Masters tonight for the Australians. We obviously have a keen eye on them as an Australian company.
Oh, Underhill going to the end zone.
Oh my goodness, big block there. Number 6 for Sweden gets up. That's Pelto Kangas.
What a block.
What a last name as well. That was a tough one to get out. I hope I said it right. Big bid. Macked up a bit but went out of bounds. No danger of it being caught.
So the rain starting to come down here, Steph. Hopefully our computer makes it through the very last game.
Yeah, this is the last game of our coverage, and we thought we had made it rain-free. Bits of drizzle threatened all weekend, all week long. This is the heaviest we've seen, or the most consistent anyways. It's still only just a drizzle, but now it is starting to be a little bit consistent.
Yeah, it's getting stronger though. Looking over into the distance, it's going to start to rain quite heavily soon.
Yeah, it's coming. I can't wait.
Yeah, I bet, Stefan.
Good thing our press box has such an amazing roof. I mean, it doesn't. Now number 6, after making that big D, has the disc.
Reset to the middle of the field there, and Sweden just trying to set up their offense here. Oh, a Mac disc.
But Teller gets it.
He fakes the crossfield hammer. The Canadians throwing a bit of a zone look here. An interesting play.
Yeah.
The
89 on the mark. Big hammer crossfield. Great bid for that one. What a play. Comes across. Sjogren.
So when you see plays like that, Stefan, in the layout D, it's no wonder these Swedish boys are in the 4-3 playoff.
That's it, and I don't know how their club system works. I don't know the European Ultimate, certainly don't know the Swedish Ultimate too well, but just looking at this team, they have very prototypical Ultimate players. They're all tall, lean, very athletic looking blokes. That and again, when we watched them against the Japanese, they were just that. They dominated the big game. Six gets the disc back for Sweden.
Adrian Yearwood on the mark here, one of the younger members of this Canadian team. He's had a great tournament on D.
Yeah, great campaign. He's one of their top D players. Him and Lindquist, another 2 GOAT players that have been just huge, getting horizontal for the Canadian D line, and then Adrian particularly ends up handling when they get it back. Big shot up the line there. Sweden now within striking range of their first goal of the game. 17, one of the Dahlbergs fakes a hammer over top. Now he gets it long in for the goal. That's the Swedish star, Sebastian Sportong, gets them on the board first.
Wow, nice play there by the Swedens. The Swedes.
The Swedens, I love it.
So we're back in Sweden on defense. After dropping that break early, they steer the ship with a no point that they convert.
Canadians got a nice looking O-line out there. Kirk Savage picks it up. Gets it on to Andy Brown.
Andy Brown of ULTI Village fame came over and introduced himself.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice
he
dude.
was quite impressed with the pole cam as Swedes get the turn there, close to the Canadian end zone now. Number 1 for Sweden.
Oh, he goes inside out. What a throw.
That's Joel Horberg with a bit of double happiness, getting the D and the throw for score.
That's amazing play there by Sweden. Just awesome.
Assist from Horberg. Goal goes to Linderson. Disc goes up. Canadians settle back. That's Kirk Savage. Collects Andy Brown now. Just running into the
Nick from ULTI Cards.
ULTI
Hey,
Cards got us a handful of cards. Pretty sweet. We're pretty pumped about that. We've been hearing all about them. Don't get them out in Australia yet, but we hope that it becomes an international phenomenon, these ULTI cards.
Yeah.
And really, everybody playing ULTI might as well get their hands on a deck of these where they can.
We just got the essential deck too, Stefan.
That's the one everybody needs, I suppose. I mean, essential suggests that you're lost without it. So Savage gets a forehand up the line to Menzies. Menzies back to Andy Brown. Savage in the middle. Menzies, a bit of a close down, but there was never going to get the D there. Tolley now with the disc for Canada.
This zone looked really good in the GB game, especially number 11 on the mark. He did a great job of giving the GB boys on O fits. We see him struggling a little bit against these very rangy handlers.
Yeah, the Canadian O-line is just, I mean, everyone really is a handler. And I mean, in Worlds, everybody at this, everyone you suspect can throw, but there are just so many throwers out there that I recognize for the Canadian team playing, whether they start at a handling position or a cutting, they just are such crisp throwers.
Oh,
Hassel now with the disc.
Oh, it gets macked, and a block by number 4.
Blocked. He's getting a block on one of the best throwers in the world there. That's something to put on your resume.
Yeah, number 11, great mark there for Sweden. He just seems to know where the disc is going to be and gets his hands in a great position.
And let's give him that credit. That's Thomas Mattsson from Sweden.
Great block there.
As the big disc goes up, and Canada gets the benefit of the doubt as it goes over top of both players there. Savage with the disc.
Sweden go to man here, going away from their zone look.
Tolley to Andy Brown. Andy Brown up to Collins. Has Menzies, but opposite to slow it down just a bit. Now gets it to Tolley. Out to Andy Brown.
Nice quick throw there by Tolley for the swing.
Brown to Savage. Savage gets it to Hassel. Canada on the board again, up 3-2. 20 minutes in. Disc pull rolls out of bounds. Swedes pick it up, jog it to the line. Center to Teller. Teller, or not quite center, but get it into to Teller. He dropped back to 3, back to Teller. Teller did a lot of the throwing end damage in the Japan game. That was the Swedes' biggest game of this tournament. No two ways about it. Now to 3. Gets it across 6 with the disc. Gets back to Teller for the Swedes in their deep in their own end, just out of their own end zone. 3 now, back to 9. Who's Teller? And again, 3-9. They're happy to just do that give go again. They're giving them just enough room now. Now Scotty Nichols closed down on 3 a little bit, makes that give go just a little more difficult. Gets it into the big space now. One of the Dahlberg boys. Anders Dahlberg. Disc tapped back in here. Anders Dahlberg tries to do the big. Now gets it up. 19 with the disc for Sweden. Foul on the play. That's Eric Dahlberg. Anders to Eric, the 2 brothers out there. As his cut up line, Adrian Yearwood tries to come into that one, but not enough. Teller now with the disc. Gets it out. 7 not quite in, called not in. Has a look, dumps it back. Sportong picks up a beauty. Sebastian Sportong everywhere. Gets one across. Dahlberg to number 3 for the goal for Sweden. It's all tied up at 3. That's Josephson with the goal. And the pull goes sailing to the Canadian end. Savage to Brown. Brown back this way. Menzies with the disc. There's a Blady flick up to Pottinger. Pops it up. Andy Brown steps under that. Now puts a flick out to Savage. Savage to Pottinger. Puts a flick up. Andy Brown gets under it. Kirk Savage, big flick. Menzies is there. Goal is imminent. It's had. Canada up 4-3 in this bronze medal match. Tolley set to pull. Inside out backhand. Now the rain's coming, that's for certain. No longer a drizzle, it is legitimately raining out. We are getting wet, as are the players. And we've got a makeshift waterproofing that we certainly hope holds out. A bit of contact there between Dahlberg and Canada's 36. Dahlberg moves it up line to his brother. Now one goes up. Sportong's big, but not that big. Mohawk gets the D. Now Tolley sends it the length of the field. Great grab by 22, that's Seb Toth. And into number 4 for the goal, Toth to Doyle. Canada up by 2 now in the bronze medal game. And Canada, Collins puts another pull up, hits the deck, a little bit of roll behind it. The wind's also picked up with the rain here. Number 6 gets it to Teller. Teller back to Sporong. Sporong puts a hammer to number 1. He fakes a couple bigs, dragging that toe. Sporong wanted big, but got Teller back to Sporong. A bit of a hand on that hammer, but it wobbles its way over to the intended receiver nonetheless. Number 1 now. Dumps it back to 6. Number 1 with the disc for the Swedes. Teller scoops it over top to number 1. Back to Teller. Teller getting a lot of touches on these Swedish offensive possessions. Teller to Dahlberg, Dahlberg to Teller, back to Teller. Fakes a big hammer. Fakes it again, scoops over top. Number 1 with the disc, that's Hogberg. Hogberg. Still looking around as we hear the sirens in the back. Teller with the disc, violation called. Disc back in. Hammer to Hogberg, keeps his feet in bounds. Yearwood arrives on the defense. Teller gets it inside the cup. Fakes the hammer. Conditions getting a little ugly here. Flicks one over. Hogberg really looking, gets it over to number 6. Peltokangas with the disc. Back to Peltokangas. Rain's getting heavier every second we're here now. I'm getting wetter with every second of heavy rain. Not too concerned as we've gone through an excellent Worlds campaign. A bit of rain's not going to damper it. It does damper spirits for Sweden, though, as they drop the disc after long possession, and one throw gets to Yearwood. Gabe Sanke puts it to Yearwood right away. Canada now up. And there goes the pull after the timeout. It's getting wet. I personally love playing in the rain. It nullifies my sweatiness, where in the dry, hot game, I'm always the wet guy out there, and in the rain, it seems like everybody's just as wet, so they're as disadvantaged as I am all the time. But also just love it. You just, you know, get the feeling of playing through a bit of weather, a bit of treachery out there. Feels like you're really at battle. Number 6 for the Swedes with the disc there. Peltokangas. That one just rolls off the tongue to Josephson. Now Sportong. Dahlberg, Sportong again. Sportong having a look. His handler goes back, but chews up some turf. Gets it on to Dahlberg. 6 gets up line. That's Peltokangas. Puts a big one up. Has too much on it. Canada get the turn. Canada's number 1 brings it in. Gets it to Aaron Liu. That was Thomas Kuhn, number 1. Has it again. Flicks it over top. Over to 12 here. Aaron Liu with the disc. 96 now for Canada. Thomas Kuhn. Having a look. Stall count mounting. Gets it away. 96. Oh, double bobble, but handled. Canada still with the disc. Dan Clinton back from the other fields. That one floaty over his intended receiver. Calling the play. That's
So, Stefan, we're out here in the rain. You got your shirt off.
I do. Looking good, I must say myself. Seb Toth, the one with the mohawk, wearing 22, put that disc back into play.
Foul call.
Aaron Liu calls a foul on Teller.
So, Stefan, do you work out?
You know, every now and again. Lifted a couple weights in my days, but to be honest, bit of ultimate and some yoga in between to keep me limber. The way I go now is Canada scores. And that's 96 with the 36 with the goal for Canada.
So the rain has arrived, and so is the Canadian team.
Yeah.
They're doing great in the wet weather. The Swedes starting to struggle a little bit, though.
I mean, this is a Vancouver team. They're very used to wet conditions. No doubt about that. No doubt about it, indeed. Our waterproofing going well. Our cameraman Declan for this game is waterproofing his pants now. An interesting procedure that I managed to just get caught helping out with, and made myself look very awkward to one of the Swedish players.
His comment was, if the love is pure, who is he to comment upon it?
That's right, and it is nothing but pure love from commentator to cameraman here at ULTI.TV. Oh, wait, yeah, we've got a game going on. Let's cover that again.
Yeah, so number 3 with the disc from Sweden. He looks to be a call on it, Josephson.
Josephson makes the call.
No, I think it's been called on him.
On him, really,
yeah,
by...
is that...
Scotty Nichols out there,
Scotty
the
Nichols.
North Bay boy.
I was about to call him Savage. I was like, no, that's not Kurt Savage.
No, switch those numbers around for Savage. Oh, wow, that
my
went
good
right
lord.
over the shoulder of the defender. Teller got it, put it deep. Sportong is there. He's used to doing that. Swedes back
What
on the
a
board. 4-8.
What a huck that was.
Making something of it before they take it to half.
That disc just went flying straight past Underhill's ear, and somehow he didn't know anything about it.
Teller must have just thought, hey, if I got away with this one, I might as well just take a shot to the end zone. And Sweden gets himself back on the board.
He really needed that.
Yeah, they didn't need Canada to take half. Well, they only had 3, but I do suspect that Canada's going to do it here. Only time will tell. The Canadians looking the better, like we said, in these conditions. I think in most conditions, the Canadians are just a better drilled team. They play more ultimate. They play more higher quality ultimate, because especially these furious fellas, not only in the Vancouver scene, but they play a lot of American club teams in competition. They're very close to the border there, down to Seattle and much more. And they're looking good now. Gabe Sankey with the disc.
Sankey goes with the offhand throw. Nice lefty there.
Good ambidexterity. Savage back to Sankey. Far sideline, pops one in the middle, Andy Brown.
He's got all the skills, push past that time.
He does, a crafty thrower indeed. Andy Brown to Savage. Savage to Menzies. Menzies, pump fakes once or twice, gets it to Savage. Now Andy Brown to Savage.
So this Swedish zone was the one that gave GB a hell of a lot of troubles. We see it's not a standard pommy. If it was going to be a pommy, 22 would be in closer, but he's out a long way as the Canadians decide to shred it. And it still has a line trap. It's just a really interesting zone that seems to have more strength in the middle where the pommy doesn't.
Yeah, and Sankey gets it to Andy Brown. Almost a miscommunication, but he called for the disc and caught it cleanly without getting D'd by his teammate. Sankey again with the disc, far side. Gets it to Menzies, fakes the scoop. Menzies still. Call on the play.
If we make it through this game without anything blowing up, it's going to be a minor miracle. It is teeming down right now. We're both getting saturated. But loving it though.
Everything's working. There's nowhere else I'd rather be than at this men's bronze medal match.
Call on the play.
Bronze medal match rather, because you know there's still a lot of women who are open to try out for these teams. I don't think we've seen one in the world competition in a while, but that's certainly the justification for the naming of the division. It is open to the best players available.
And we see Andy Brown trying to force one into Pottinger and allow D for Sweden. They get the turn here.
And
great news.
The other way.
So Sweden working against a Canadian man set right now. Number 22 gets it for Sweden. Goes to the lower release. Looks like a call on the play, but it plays on. The receiver managing to get down low to catch that. Right now, the Swedes get out of the end zone with a throw to Sporong and a call on the play, so it'll go back.
He tried to get it to Sundqvist there, but to no avail that time around.
So the disc will go back. The Swedes will keep it. They've got a lot of tall, skinny, rangy, jumpy dudes out there. I was speaking to a lass from Great Britain. She mentioned that she never sees an overweight or unfit Swedish ultimate player. They all seem to be, you know, perfect shape and perfectly built for the game.
They all look like a bunch of weapons, really. I wouldn't mind having them at the other end of my games when I'm playing. They look like great targets, and Sportong makes himself a great target there. Puts it into the end zone. Hassel bids, but only to give himself a good look at the Swede catching the disc. And it's now 8-5. Canada have had 2 chances to take half and not yet able.
So
Dan just took my mic there.
Yeah, I like this one.
I like the red tape.
All right, I'll swap you back.
Thank you. It makes me cheer for Canada better, even though I'm very biased as a commentator, or unbiased rather. I'm very biased as a commentator.
Freudian slip there, Stefan.
Yeah, something like that. Canada comes on to offense here. Menzies. Oh, gets a backhand around. Turned over, calling the play. He really pivoted to try and get around there, and I'm sure he knew he was calling a foul if it didn't come off as soon as it left his hands.
Yeah, we see that a lot, drawing the contact, throwing the throw anyway, just to get that free shot.
That's it, especially in the open division.
Oh,
and now the disc doesn't lie, that went through Menzies there. Open division, a lot of these top throwers are just so sure of their throws and their break throws that they'll try it every time, knowing if it doesn't come off, it's probably because there was some contact that really they initiated, but they still have a defender who's moving when that contact happens.
So, and the fall over.
Oh.
What a great block. No call on the play.
Canadians jump in front. Have a man going deep. It's Pottinger, but don't take it. There's
Underhill absorbs the contact, tries to throw, can't get through it, and the foul results.
Back to Underhill.
I didn't think the rain could get any heavier, but it has.
It's, I'm not sure if we've mentioned, it's raining in Sakai.
It's pouring.
These guys saturated, and as are we. We don't have a booth we're commentating in. It's an open air commentary booth. Menzies with the disc, no umbrella, no shirt.
Just a microphone
and a pair of boardies.
Yeah, love it.
Andy Brown now with the disc. Andy Brown looks to break. That one gets away from him. Swedes dive into the Canadian sideline to get the D. And the Swedes look to extend this half another point the way they're playing. When the conditions get worse, the Swedes get better.
This is true. This is unbelievably true, Stefan. Conditions yesterday were horrendous.
2 days ago, you're getting delirious.
Oh, you know, it happens. It happens.
I know, it tends to happen in this tournament when we're covering as many games as we do at ULTI.TV.
Oh, great.
Everything fades to 1.
And Brown with a foul on the mark there.
He fouls Leanderson.
It's official. The shoes have filled up with water. The socks are wet.
It's all official. Leanderson puts the flick down. It got away from him and was close to the earth the whole way. Menzies tries to put one. He calls a foul.
The boys are sliding around, slipping around, and the disc
We've
is...
got a good argument on the field. The Swedes contest with vigor. And Menzies gets a bit of body language, looking like an Italian with the hand flailing there. I wonder if he's met Davide yet.
So disc coming in. Menzies dunks to the middle of the field and gets the disc back from Savage.
Pottinger now. Puts one up, has a man in space, stays in bounds.
Underhill has a man free in the back of the end zone. He doesn't want to try it. Goes the blade.
Menzies gets the goal. Canada takes the half. And it was a spike towards the Swedish player. He apologizes right away, but still needs to be more careful about those directional spikes. The pull goes up to start the second half. Canadians start on 0. Quick halftime there. I think both teams pretty happy to just get moving again, stay warm. Not exceptionally cold, but rain coming down, everybody's wet. Tendency to be a bit colder when you're a bit wetter. Menzies now, disc on this sideline. Gloves come out for Menzies. He's had them on all game, but not all tournament. Savage to Brown. Brown gets it far side, Underhill. Pottinger threatens the big one, scoops over top to Savage. Savage, Menzies. Menzies, everything closes in on Pottinger, and he gets one through to Lindquist. Linky, back to Brown. Brown, having a look at options. Pivoting back and forth, gets it to Savage. Savage to Menzies here on the near sideline. Up line just a bit more, and a blade to Pottinger. There's a bit of contact. Foul called. His contest was, are you kidding me? and maybe retracted the call. Not sure if it was contested or retracted, but it's Pottinger sends it back to Savage. And it's going to be called back in shortly. Contested nonetheless. They both went in for the play, bit of contact. Swede thinks it was incidental. Savage thinks he got hammered. Or sorry, Pottinger. Savage now with the disc. Now puts a similar looking pass to Pottinger and it goes over top. Sportong brings the disc into play for the Swedes. Back to Sundqvist. He looks to engage. High stall count. Savage gets a Callahan. Punch through Spike. He was screaming out the stall counts there when he got to 7. Canadians hit double digits. It's 10-5 Canada. Disc sails down to Sweden. Moved. Oh, big blade. Has a touch on it. That was Soralia. And Underhill comes in for Canada. Picks up the disc.
So the disc gets tapped in there.
By Dahlberg. Just about to be tapped in by one of the Dahlberg brothers.
Watching a good game here. Canada in control of this slippery and wet affair.
As Yearwood goes up the line. Has it. Fakes a very fancy looking high release flick that he didn't let go of. Tapped back into play, Yearwood with the disc. Puts a flick into the end zone. Has his man, that's Scotty Nickel. No, it's not, it's Thomas Kuhn. 11 for Canada, 5 for Sweden. Starting to stretch into a comfy lead. Disc in. Pull goes up, comes down in the hands of the Swedes. Number 3 for Sweden, Josephson. Brings it across to Sportong. Hammer goes the other way, not afraid of these conditions. To throw the big, Teller. Back to Teller as the man crashes in on him. And call on the play. As a result of that crashing man, Teller with the disc. Motioning that he wants an under. Sportong open on this side. Gets it back to 6. That's Pelto Kangas. And to 19. Back to Teller. He puts a big one up. Sportong's there. That's a great target. He always is. Fakes to put it out in front early. Now he waits. Defense arrives. A meter out. Breaks throw. Score to number 7. That's Andre for the Swedes. Gets the goal. It's 6-11. The Swedes set to pull. Down by 5. 63 minutes into this game. For the bronze medal, they've got a lot of work to do if they're going to claw their way back in, but it's 1 point at a time. That's the only way you can do it. Savage picks up the disc, moves to Tolley, to Savage. Menzies now with the disc. Menzies puts it up. Oh, wow, what a catch in the second effort. I don't know how he was able to see that disc, but he does see it into his hand one way or the other as he dishes back to Savage. Savage puts a hammer out. Menzies, Pottinger. Big flick, Pottinger sends it. He's got his man. What a goal by Collins. The beardless Collins gets himself the 12th goal for Canada as they lead by 6. Canada pulls. That's Septoff. Sends it the other way. Now Teller with the disc for the Swedes. Spot on gets the over top scuba and gets a big gainer to number 7. Middle of the field, Dahlberg gets it to his brother. Another Dahlberg with the disc. Moves it to 3. Back to Dahlberg. 6 now with the disc, Pelton Kangas. And turns it to Aaron Liu for Canada. He gives to Scotty Nichols, back to Liu. Wanted to go back to Nichols and pivots into the defender, who calls a foul. He says there was no other way for him to pivot. This conversation going nowhere. Ready to tap it back into play. Here we go. Aaron Liu. Up to Toth. Calls for it, gets it, does 96 for Canada. Has a man, puts it up the sideline, but too far in front. A turnover for Canada, and the Swedes will have another chance. And Teller brings it in. Has an undercut, not the one he wanted. The Canadians and the Swedes still discussing the last call on the sideline with a bit of frivolity.
I was just about to mention that. Some interesting interpretations of the rules going on over there. I'm not sure either team has it completely accurate, but they're going to work it out, and spirit of the game should prevail in the end of the day.
Well, it's already been worked out. So
exactly. So
now they're just making friends, of course. Crossing international borders as this pull floats. Dahlberg there, gets under it. He gets up big and down.
What a nice score. Dahlberg climbing up there for that point.
That's Eric Dahlberg on the score.
So just got shocked pretty bad there by the mic.
It's not a good sign in this weather.
We'll keep going.
And the pull goes out of bounds, and Canada's Andy Brown will pick it up and walk it to the spot.
Andy Brown walking up to the mark for Team Canada. They're up 12-7 here and in good position. If they keep going, they could walk away with a bronze medal from the open division.
But it's not over yet. We've seen Sweden strike back a couple times now. Big shot goes up. He's got Hassel in the area, a lot of company in the area.
What a block. Oh, and there is a foul call here by the looks of it.
John Hassel claims he was fouled, I think.
That looked clean from here, Stefan.
Yeah, there's two Swedes, one in front, one behind. Surely there's going to be a tiny bit of contact if they're all going to the same direction, but I don't think from our angle, it didn't look like hands were pushed out of the way or moved. And Hassel retracts his call.
He retracts his call.
Very spirited player, John Hassel. I've never seen him in the years I've watched him play some top-level Ultimate in Toronto. Never seen him lose his cool. A very laid-back player, but obviously still plays at a high intensity.
And it's always a good thing, if you think you've been fouled legitimately, you're entitled to call your foul and have a bit of a talk about it.
That's it. Now Collins.
Hassel felt he was fouled, and then on reflection, decided he wasn't, and the score by Canada.
And I think there's a call on that. It's going to go back to Collins.
Pass a pick on the play. So, yeah, it'll go back to Collins, the clean-faced lumberjack.
I must say, as a bearded man myself right now, I did prefer the beard on Collins. He had a...
He looked...
He looked scared. You didn't want the man you wouldn't want to mess with a beard that thick.
And Pottinger up the line. The score.
That's
yeah, Canada 13-7 now.
Commanding lead. Disc goes up. Swedes collect.
Just
Teller with the disc.
we discuss our view monitor, seeing if it's crashing or not in the weather. Hopefully it lasts for another couple of points.
Water and digital equipment, not necessarily the best of friends.
Just like electricity, humans and water don't mix.
Right, and we're still gambling. Teller now with the disc. Moves it across. Oh my God, what a bid. He did happen to go through the body, but no call on it. That was a massive bid by Toth.
Toth has been getting horizontal in this tournament. He's come up with some massive Ds over the course of the tournament.
Indeed, that one huge itself. Yearwood to Lindquist, now back to Toth. Back to Lindquist.
And Canada working out of a bit of a horizontal.
What a great release on that backhand break from Lindquist. And now puts a flick to Scotty Nichols. Toronto boys doing some damage there. That's 14-7
we just
in favor of Canada.
We just see some 101 offense there, just chipping the disc around, maintaining possession until they had the open shot at the end zone. 75 minutes gone, Stefan. The Canadians in a good position here, up by 7.
Collins lets the pole sail, and Teller collects. Moves it to Sundqvist. Oh, Tolley almost with a bid on that one. Teller with the disc. Moves it.
Great move by Sundqvist there. He pulled in the wall to open up the around and the reset for Sweden. Sometimes it's not actually the throw or the cut that gets thrown to. Sometimes it's the cut that is looked off.
The space, that's it. Now back to Teller. Teller fakes flick. Looks hammer, gives hammer to Sundqvist. Now has a Dahlberg. Sundqvist moves it to 6 as it gets up the center to Sundqvist, or to Dahlberg to Sundqvist. Now Sportong with the disc. The big number 8 puts a big one up. Had it, macked it to himself. Swedes come down with the goal. It's 8-14, down by 6.
Nice
Swede
work.
still on the ground. He's down but not out.
Nice work by 17 there. He macked it, but he had the presence of mind to keep his chin up, keep watching the disc, and it was falling to the ground within his grasp.
And that gets Anders Dahlberg a goal. Disc is up. Savage collects.
Yearwood clears the space there.
And Hassel now. Flicks it up the line. Pottinger.
He had Yearwood going deep there. Elects not to throw it.
Gets it to Hassel. Hassel, big one up. Has Lindquist. Savage coming in the area. Linky takes it. Big right hand up in the air. No goal on the play, just no big celebration. Lindquist gets the goal. 15-8. Felt like Canada should have been cheering a bit harder after that one.
So Team Canada, R&D. We got the Swedes, they're up against it here. Gained to 17, no matter what happens. Only 80 minutes gone in this game, Steph.
Canadians moving quick, looking good out there, really. We thought for a moment when I guess the Swedes would be praying to the rain gods now, because as soon as it started raining hard, they started playing good. As soon as the wind starts blowing really hard, they start playing better. But as it calms down, the Canadians take their advantage back and are looking good towards the later stages of this game.
So this is Pelto Kangas with the disc. That's a double-barreled last name if I've ever heard it.
Indeed, I'm certain we've been butchering that one all week long.
Let's just call him Benjamin, because that's his first name. So Ben with the disc.
Gets it to 19, one of the Dahlberg boys. He gets it up line to his brother. Big I.O. flick, 7's down there. Got himself a goal.
Nice
That's Sjörgren for Sweden. Goal. Sorry, that's not a goal. Must have been at the back. Kuhn walks it up, and we think that that's Sjörgren is the last name of number 7 for the Swedes. We're getting lots of international lessons in pronunciation over the course of this World Worlds campaign.
So Benjamin on the mark there. And
Up to Seralia, but he has it slip through his hand as it was out in front.
see, it's been a fairly relaxed match. Intensity, no doubt, but not really much
Shot
going
to
on.
goal, out of reach. Canada's gonna get it. Yeah, you're right. Everybody seems pretty laid back. The big games are over, I guess. I mean, they still want to play for this bronze medal. It's not belittling it by any stretch. It's the second biggest game in the division. But it just seems a very relaxed ordeal as far as fighting for calls and fighting for possession. They're happy to concede on a few of these. We've seen a few retractions in this game even, and in games of on your way to the final when that gold medal is still being dangled. Sometimes those plays are held a little tighter and fought a little harder for.
Not only is it the second biggest game in the division, it is also the, well, here we go. We're having a lightning delay by the looks of it.
Lightning delay.
And we've got the biggest frickin' lightning rod in the vicinity right next to us. So
unbelievable. So Canada up 15-8, being ordered off the field. They haven't told us to go anywhere yet with our lightning conductor. A 20-foot pole being held by the young Declan. He loves his mother. And we'll see how long we're gone for. The rain's even let up a little bit now.
I wonder if they were just looking at the bridge over in the distance. It's flashing bright lights.
Teller
don't know.
puts one up, but Toth steps in front. Seralia now to Kuhn.
Kuhn goes over the far sideline there. Canada starting to generate some movement downfield.
Seralia with this. Gets to his dump. Scotty Nichols. Having a look upfield. Gets it through a bit of traffic to Toth. Not in for the goal. Walks it back, taps the ground. Playing on the goal line.
Lou.
In front, Lou's got a goal. Canada 16, Sweden 8 on game point.
Yes. I see what you did there. So, Canada, game point. The Swedes struggled in this game.
Canadians hoping to bring back a bronze medal to Vancouver, and a few would take it to Toronto there. But again, this Vancouver-based club, obviously their eye was on the gold as defending champions from last Worlds 4 years ago in Vancouver, the home Worlds for them. But unable to repeat. But we'll be satisfied if they can get this next point or next point before the Swedes get 9. I foresee it happening, that Canada will be wearing bronze medals after tomorrow's closing ceremony.
So, Stefan, would you say it's all over but the crying?
All over but the crying. Not the fat lady is not quite sung, but she is warming up in the dressing room.
Oh,
as that one gets away. We've got an all-Toronto line on right now, in fact. This is Goat out there. Scotty Nichols puts it in front of Tolley. Andy Ochterlony out there, Andy O. We've got Adrian Yearwood, Jeff Lindquist, John Hassel. I think that's Kuhn out there with them. But all the Toronto boys that have joined Vancouver are out there now and could win this bronze medal for them. Sundqvist gets it out, 24 now. Puts a big one. Actually thought about the big one, didn't put it, puts it back to Teller. Now 24, has the disc. 6 now for Sweden. He fakes the big one but doesn't deliver. Sundqvist up line.
To Forsberg. Forsberg finding the disc again for Sweden.
Wonder if he's related to the famous hockey player Peter Forsberg.
I doubt it.
I did it, and a drop there by Teller, very rare. Kuhn puts the backhand into a blocker and calls a foul.
That's, wait. Peltokangas.
Peltokangas. I don't know. I wouldn't even know how the Swedish accent pronounces that, but I like the way I'm doing it, applying a Spanish accent.
It probably turns out to be Steve or something.
Yeah, something like that. Number 1, Kuhn with the disc again. It's up in the air. John Hassel comes down with it. The Toronto captain gets the goal for the Toronto line for Team Canada at the end of the day, at the end of their campaign. They take home a bronze medal, the Canadians. The Swedes, I think I'm taking a page out of your book there. The Swedes, pretty happy to get to this game, I'd imagine. Again, with that huge upset against Japan. Got them in a position to be here. They lost their semi-playoffs at GB, but really the four spot at the end of the tournament for the Swedes has got to be above most spectators' expectations.
Yeah,
maybe not their own personal expectations.
They've got to be happy with that. They took down Japan, one of the favourites for this tournament.
While they were at their hottest, Stephen. And so Canada wins the game. Bronze medal winners. No doubt that they will go back to the hotel room with a bathtub full of beer and celebrate the most of those boys after a lot of hard work over the course of the week. I personally very glad to see the Toronto line on there at the end.
Winning the game for Canada in the end.
Yeah, they're doing a lot more winning than the Maple Leafs, so glad to see. This is our last game of coverage. I don't know if I'll know what to do with myself after this, after 5 days of commentating.
6
days of commentary.
They all blur together and become one, don't they?
We'll still have a few days left in Japan. I mean, there'll be a lot of editing on the plate for a lot of this ULTI.TV team. Up tonight, we've got the Ladies Masters and Men's Masters finals up, which are showcase games covered by Next Gen, so make sure you've subscribed there as well. We will be in the stands, and it might be time to open a couple drafts on our way there. So,
definitely.
Again, this is, we got the Spirit Circle form in there, all good times. Not many games left in this tournament. The rest are going to be zingers, all grand finals now. 2 Masters today, then the mixed ladies and open tomorrow. Some great spectating on hand. This is Stefan Rapazzo with Dan Clenton signing out at the end of our campaign here at Worlds.
The very end, thank heavens. We've made it.
Adios from ULTI.TV.